Hello and welcome. In this video, we are at part 3 of how we've enrolled hundreds of clients using marketing and sales that have not sucked. If this is your first video through us, my name is Holly Oxted, and this is my incredible husband,
Chad Oxted.
And we have worked with literally hundreds of coaches in being able to put together their process in a way that is aligned to who they are. If you've missed part 1 and 2, we'll go ahead and throw that down here. We've talked about really this abundant life, creating this abundant life in this new way of being able to do business online. We've talked about how to attract our people, working with our soul people. And today we want to really emphasize on how to create this enrollment process in a way that is not salesy, it is not pushy, and you want to make sure that you stay to the end because we are going to map out exactly what we do down to the very conversation of how you can enroll clients into a program that is genuinely your true north program, who you are at a soul level, that calling that you've had to create this program, getting it out of your mind, out of your vision, and out into the world. If you are not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe because we have one more episode after this that is going to absolutely blow your mind. With that, let's talk about this enrollment process.
Yeah, so enrollment, right? So I think we just talked about enrollment for a second because we did a thing on a track. So the new way of enrollment is actually interviewing, right? Where it's like you're qualifying to make sure people are a good fit. You're actually attracting them because that's the first part is being able to attract. So they need to attract, they come to you. You're qualifying them to make sure they're a good fit. Then you are interviewing them to see if make sure that you guys are aligned and then you can actually help them and all that good stuff. And then it's like they get to sell you on why they need to be in your program instead of you selling them. It's completely different. Now, the old way is like basically scaring the crap out of you, using fear tactics and manipulations and hold, like if you ever, there's like old sales books where they're like tie downs. It's like, yeah, there's something called tie downs.
Oh my gosh.
You get somebody to agree. So you want this outcome, right? And you want this thing, and it's like you're like getting them to commit to this thing, and then it's like you're tying them down to that thing. Then you obviously want to get this result, and so then it's like, yeah,
and using manipulation and guilt and shame to get the sale. Yeah, no thanks, that's not what we do around here. So
yes,
the new way
is to interview and to qualify and to make sure, and it literally positions you in such an amazing way, and it actually makes a huge impact with your clients because they're getting amazing clarity. They're getting because one of the things we teach is to be able to do something called recreation, where you're actually telling them back what they said, and it gives them really like this amazing clarity and just like they finally feel like they've been heard, and it's just really, really, really powerful.
Man, there's one thing that you want to remember in this whole process is people want to be seen, heard, and understood. So if you set up your process where people feel seen, they feel heard, and they feel understood, they are going to look for you for the further solutions. I will even say that our process has I remember you were telling me that a girl took the clarity that she got from one of our calls and she went and did a $10,000 freaking month. That's amazing, right? So that's what you want to set up your enrollment process. How can people get this clarity from you from the very beginning? And it's an entire interview process. I will say the first things first in this process is having an offer. Like the offer matters. Having an offer that is exciting for you. It's, we call it the True North program. It's having your true north and the things that light you up, and what makes a difference is actually like everything that you've talked about in your content, everything that you have gone through, like from at this point on, it is now time for you to deliver on the things that you said, because integrity is like number one. It's your number one source of power. It's being able to create a program that you can deliver on confidently, knowing that that person is going to get results. Also, ideally is when you can have a program that has a deep impact, you're able to bring in multiple clients, that it doesn't burn you out, right? That's a big thing for us, is not burning you out, but also doesn't make people feel like they're just a number in a program. Right. The old way is like, I'm just going to get as many people as possible. Oh, group coaching is a thing. We'll just throw them into group coaching. and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Right. Where new way is you are literally tapping into your soul, your heart, what God has called you to do, how to deliver this program. You have a process and a system. If you don't have one yet, you create your process and your system and this methodology that you are so confident in, that completely lights you up every single day. You could go in there and talk about it. And having that is the foundation for what comes in this interviewing process, and making sure that they're a good fit and all of that.
Yeah, one of the things that I really want to bring up real quick is like how we came up with the coach, the called coach approach, and like where that really came from. So we've talked about how like going through burnout. What we didn't get into was that it actually led to seizures, and those seizures lasted November, April, whatever that math is, 5-6 months of like consistent seizures, till then it led up to a seizure so bad. I remember I went out for my birthday. My friends wanted to take me out for a birthday. Holly didn't come, and I came back and she'd been seizing for who knows how long. It could have been 20, 30, 40 minutes. And I was grabbing CBD, I was grabbing electrolytes, I was giving her mouth to mouth, I was doing all the things, and I finally got her to snap out of the seizure. And she came out and she looked at me and she said, "Where am I?" And then she's like, "Who are you?" Like, she didn't know who I was. She didn't know who she was. She didn't know that she had kids. She didn't know about our business. She didn't know where we were, anything. And I remember in that next week or so, she's trying to basically, well, tell me what you came out of, like what your purpose and what you heard when you came out.
So it was a wild time, right? And I always have chat. I'm like tearing up, and I've gone through a lot of healing through all of this. But ultimately, what had happened from that seizure is I had brain trauma from that seizure that wiped my memories. And thankfully, as we went to functional and holistic medicine, we worked through, and I've been able to get those memories back, and had a whole bunch of trauma releases and healing. It literally launched. It was such a catalyst in our life. And during that time, right, when you don't have any memories or story, like I didn't know anything, except I knew that I was here to serve humanity. Like there was even a time I wondered if I was from another planet, and all I knew was that I'm here to raise the conscious collective of humanity, right? And it was so strong in me. That was literally all I knew. And so I knew I had to get back into our business. I knew I needed to start learning things to be able to do what I knew my mission was in this world. And I'm really grateful for it. And so what I did is I started going through all of the clients we ever worked with before this happened. I went through like deep dive into everything. It was like if you can imagine the wall where like the strings are like combining or like connecting with each other. But I got really clear because I didn't have any outside stories. Yes.
Got it.
So I didn't have any outside stories about what was right or wrong, or when this had, like, all I knew was patterns and like the objective, the what so of things. So I looked through everything.
And the objective is to get our clients the most amazing results out.
Yes, absolutely. So I was looking like, okay, when our clients got really great results, this, and happened. When they did not get results, this, and this, oh, this didn't happen, right? And so I literally went through, I was like a complete nerd of going through all of our clients and what was happening through them, that I started seeing patterns. And that's how the entire coach approach was created, was being able to attract, enroll, and transform, and what it took to be able to do each thing. And we've literally walked hundreds of clients to success through this model and bringing on this model. So thank you for giving that context. I think it's important because there's a lot of things out there online and there's a lot of regurgitated information, right? So having a space of experience, we won't go into the whole story. We can like drop a training or something where we go more in depth about our story. Maybe we'll do a whole video just based on that story too. It really is quite a remarkable thing, and I'm really, really grateful that we've been able to overcome it and use it for not only our good but for the good of so many other people as well.
Yeah, and so the one of the things I want to do is like the intention, right? The intention of the program, the True North program, is to make the biggest impact, the transformation in your client's result. That's what we want, right? And then on top of that, it's like, how do we communicate it where they not see it as it's more valuable than it is, but see it as valuable as it is, right? And so how do we communicate that? How do we create that offer and be able to transform it or communicate it in a way where they're like, your ideal client goes, holy crap, that's so valuable because it is that valuable.
Yeah.
And the old way is, how can we make this thing seem really valuable? And how can we add things to it to manipulate and get the most people to buy this thing and give me money as possible, right? So that's the
what you're worth, girl. We are not for charging what you're worth. Your worth is absolutely invaluable. We're here to charge what the transformation is worth for your clients.
Yes. And so the other side, so that's the bro side of it. The other side is, oh, I'm going to do per session because my clients can't afford be able to really commit to their, the actually investing in their education.
You're so good at that.
Thanks. And then their sales process is like, oh, well, I gotta prove to them how valuable my services are. And I'm gonna get on this call, I'm gonna prove to them how great I am, and then I'm going to offer. They're gonna want it. And the thing is, I don't know where that came from. Great. Oh, dude, you said I can't act. So that's the middle is interviewing and being picky about the clients that you accept, and really being picky about not allowing everybody to be a client, right? And the bro side is, how can I manipulate this person to buy this thing that is probably not as valuable as I'm making it seem, but it's something. And the other side is like, they could offer the amazing services ever, but because it's positioned so badly and they're proving themselves and like showing how good, like it doesn't come off as that valuable. So the people end up charging $75 an hour or a session or whatever. So it's just like, it's not, and nobody's going to invest a lot because they had to prove themselves to get the person on the phone. There's like, you had to sell that it was super valuable to do the call. So then it's like, oh, well, I got all this value for free, and they were like selling it as like this value. So like paying for this isn't going to be like that valuable. I'll pay something, but I'm just like,
yeah, as you're saying that, what's coming to me too is there's an energy behind everything, right? So if you're taking your program and it's around proving yourself and your worthiness, right? That is like the number one thing, and there's nothing wrong, and it's all okay. And there's 90% of the population deal with unworthiness problem, like things have happened to them as a children, right? So when you start wrapping up your business with your worthiness and having to prove yourself that you're worthy, not only do you not get the results that you want, it's not empowering for your clients either. And eventually there's it may go up, but what goes up must come down kind of thing, because it's from the sense of proving your worthiness and proving your value. Where someone who is valuable and knows their worth and they're confident in their worth, they walk into a room and that energy shifts, right? So it's ultimately, when we're going to talk in the next video about the transformation, how do you get to that space in the next video? So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. But it's coming to this place where you have disattached your worthiness to your program completely. And now I'm only working, do what you love in the service of people who love what you do. I'm only working with the people that are going to light me up, that I'm excited when they message me, or when I'm getting on a call with them. It fuels me. It doesn't take away, right? And that is the key piece of having a business that is going to sustain. Chad and I, we've been working in our business for 5 years, and before that we've been online for almost 10 years now. almost 10
Definitely
years,
10 years.
right?
Yeah.
So the sustainability happens when there's enjoyment and when there's fulfillment, and when you collapse your worth with that, it's just not sustainable and it will eventually crumble. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So let's get into the empowered client attraction pathway.
Being empowered.
And this is one of our staple aspects of our program. And what it is so maybe you're putting out a ton of content. Maybe you're getting a ton of engagement. You're getting a ton of people that are loving your stuff. Now, we can talk about the empowered client attraction pathway as going from A, no clue, they don't know who you are, to Z, they're your client and they're happy and they're super excited, right? We've already kind of talked from like A to J. So let's talk about J to
J to Z.
J to Z, sure. So the empowered client attraction value in this sense is, how do you take people from an engager that's really interested in this amazing content that you're putting out, that's so valuable and it's transforming people's lives and making this different, and then bringing them through and actually getting them, making sure that like connecting with them, and then actually getting that, like qualify them, and then actually getting them to sell you. So the sales process is, the interview process and all that is still a part of the empowered client attraction pathway. So one of the things I see is a lot of, so the old way is, I'm just going to put out a ton of value. We're going to get a ton of engagement. We're going to get a bunch of likes. Likes are our dopamine fix. And it's like, I'm fueled on, give me more likes. But as the lights get turned off, the likes don't turn into paying light bills.
Don't turn into lights.
Likes don't turn into lights. Yes, there you go. And so that's the thing, is like, how do we actually take people that are interested, that are in your stuff, and actually turn them into paying clients? So there's the bro scaling way, the old way of like, I'm going to DM everybody that likes my stuff, and I'm going to pitch them something. I'm going to sell them. I'm going to get them. Right. And then there's the other side of it, is like, oh, well, like if they like the content, they're just gonna they're gonna show up. They're gonna, right, they're the right people will reach out. And this is the thing, is like, sometimes people are waiting for you to actually connect with them. They're waiting for you to actually connect with them. So we can get to connect with those clients, those potential clients, and build a relationship. And then if you see that you could help them, if there's a gap in where they are to where they want to be, and your program and service, then you can qualify them, get them, ask some questions. We do this with our clients. We help them create their custom process for connecting and for qualifying. And if it seems like a good fit, like you could really help them, then you jump on a call, and we have a whole structure to get them. You ask the questions and make them really get clear on where they're going and what's actually stopping them. And then if you are the person, then you're there, and you can then offer your program, right? And if, depending on your price point, you could do 2 calls, you could do 1 call. But it's they're selling you at the end. They're selling you on why they need your program. They're selling you on like, please show me how much is it. Tell me how much it is. Damn it, I want to know.
Well, I'll even say, like, the call is constructed very strategically so that it gives them clarity of what it is that they're really out for. And part of it is, like he mentioned before, is recreating. It's getting into their world and really getting clear so that they see you actually hear them and that you get them, right? Again, that is like one of the number one things of why people join you, because it's one of the number one needs that people have, is being seen, heard, and understood.
Yeah.
So are you making sure that your prospective clients are being seen, that you hear them, and that you understand what it is that they're going through? And that's actually why I really like having calls, because there are some people like, I don't do calls, I don't want to do calls, blah, 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 all of the things. But I think that it's important to do calls to make sure that it's not just a match for you, but you're a match for them, and that you can get these really clear that they know they're not about to be a number in some program, that you actually get what it is that they're out for, and you are that person to lead and guide them along the way. I think that is invaluable, and can be left in the wayside not doing calls.
Yeah. And so the bro scaling the old way, right, is they might listen, but the listening to manipulate, the listening to sell, to not to get them, to make sure that they're seen, to make sure that they're heard, that it's listening for a purpose to use that.
What objection handling do I need to use?
Yes, against them, right? And then it's really a it's like, what can I do to get them on a call as soon as possible, and then I can get them to buy this thing. That's the energy around that. And the other side of it is like, oh, like, you know, people, the right people just show up when they're ready. When they're ready, they'll just show up. It's cool. You know, it's fine. Like, the right people, they'll message me and they'll just demand, they'll actually, you know what? They'll actually hack into, find my routing number and my bank account, and they'll just send me the money, right?
That doesn't happen.
They'll just,
I will say that does it. Like, when you set up your content strategically and you do it really well and you're persistent over time, there absolutely will be people that reach out to you and say, hey, I've been following you from a while, I want to know more about your program. That absolutely happens.
yes.
And we are cause of our life. So it's always this middle ground. Like, how can we be in this middle road where we are not being salesy and pushy, but we are making offers, we are showing up, and people know that there is something and there's a transformation that we provide that that they can be a part of, if that's what their thing is, right? So it's that balance. I will say, because people have come, I know why. I know. People do come to you as you start really showing up, and you don't want to depend on that, right? Yeah. Like, I'm just gonna call it in, I'm calling it in, I'm calling it in. Okay, today I'm writing in my journal, and all of this stuff works, right? It works. And taking action, doing the audience amplifier, where you're creating, like, hands up. If you didn't see the attract piece, I really encourage you, that link is below here, to go check that out, right? Because it matters that we attract our people, and it also matters that we have a process to be able to call them out and invite them to be able to work with you. Yeah.
And so, yeah, those are the two sides of it. It's really about being that middle. It's the flow and the strategy. It's the heart and the structure, right? It's both, right?
Yeah. And I want to touch, so once they become clients, right, this is also part of the enrollment process, is that you get to deliver an exceptional experience with your clients. You get to deliver your word, what it is that you said. I believe it is like the old way is like, get as many people into the program as possible. Like, just sell, get them in. And then that leaves your clients feeling like they're a number. Or when, we call it deli coaching, you go to the group coaching call and, like, wait your turn to ask a question, the question's answered, and then it's done, right? With this enrollment process, this new way, nobody is a number. You make sure that you have the process in your fulfillment that is there, so that everyone continues to feel seen, heard, and understood. When you have your group coaching calls, you're creating an environment where everybody is included in the conversation. Nobody gets left behind, right? It matters. It makes a difference. This is where you're playing the long-term game, where clients want to continue to be clients. They want to move up into any next levels that you have. It's being of service, right? If you do not get this part down, all of the rest of the stuff is just fluff.
Yeah.
So that's ultimately what we're out for, is the transformation. So it's making sure that we have the fulfillment in place so that that transformation happens with our clients, and making sure that they have an experience. Ultimately, like, my intention for everyone who joins our program is that they leave saying, that was the best freaking program that I've ever been in, and it was the catalyst to where I am now, right? Mm-hmm. That's what I want for our clients. I want the wow factor. I want them to be seen. I'm out for them to be heard. I'm out for them to know that they are supported, and that they're not alone in this, right? We have an incredible community of people who are all supportive of each other. And it is the most beautiful thing when you go into what it is that you do with an intent of excellence and an incredible experience for your clients. And that is something that for years, we are always like, how can we optimize this? How can we make sure this experience is even more better and more incredible, right? Being, yeah, I think I've said enough on it, but you get the point. It's something that matters, not just, it's for the impact. And then on the side of the business, this is how clients stay. This is how you retain clients. And this is how you can move them forward after their clients into the next levels that you provide.
Yeah. And the other thing is like, it's like, the old way is like a static one line, right? It's like, this is the way through this program. And if you don't follow this way, like they put you in a box. It's like, you must do it this way. And if you don't do it this way, you didn't want it bad enough. You didn't, it's like, and then the other side of it is the alignment, like creating the program in alignment for them, like creating custom processes where you're actually delivering in a way that's like sets your clients apart, because each person is different. Each challenges are different. And maybe they need to be doing a little bit of this more than a little bit of this. And it's like, how can you actually deliver in a way where they get custom, that it feels custom, at least for them?
Yeah, without burning you out, because that's big too,
exactly.
right? So that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in the next video, is this alignment piece. How do you create this in alignment to who you are? What does that transformation look like on the inside, right? Because we are transformational coaches who get to be in the work more than anybody else, because our business will only grow as far as we are willing to. So make sure you subscribe, stay tuned.
I think there's one thing is the other side of it is everything has to be custom. Everything is one-on-one. I can only deliver in one-on-one. I can't do a group because it's so unique and so like this, and everybody is like, that is mostly a story. I've only seen a couple situations where you can't deliver or at least have a group aspect. Maybe there is
some sort of leverage asset.
Right, leverage aspect. Yeah. That's another thing, is like having the educational aspect of the program in a course so they can go through it. So it is leverage for you. So you're not teaching on one-on-one calls. Maybe there is one-on-one, but maybe there's a group too. So then you're actually building a community and you're making this amazing thing. Sorry.
Yeah. And that's going to be custom again. Custom, but not too custom to what it is that you're out for, and the income and the results and what you provide for your clients.
Exactly.
Yeah, so good. I appreciate that. So stay tuned, because our next video, we are talking about this transformation piece, talking about your soul gifts, creating an alignment to who you are, and how to create this entire thing. We will even be giving you a whole momentum profit plan that you can go and you can take for yourself and really start creating this momentum and doing it in a way that is not a cookie cutter strategy, but is in alignment to who you are. So stay tuned, subscribe if you haven't. Let us know if this was helpful to you, and we'll see you on the next video.
Bye.